we can address the elephant in the room. A lot of people are like, dude, James, you're so woke. You're a what do they call it? Virtue signaler. You're one of those guys. And yet, like, as soon as EWC presents you money, you're like, whatever, and you take the money. Goodbye morals and all, dude. Like, you want to help me recover from my sewage flood that drained me of all my funds? You're perfectly welcome to give me all that money. Honestly, I am not in a great financial situation, and again, like, without getting into too much, when people are like, oh, as soon as Saudi Arabia flashes a little money, James is willing to do that. Like, it wasn't a little bit of money. Okay. Oh man. Like, oh boy. Like, stress levels have dropped. Stress levels have dropped. Let me tell you, right? But at the same time, like, on top of everything, like, it's not just about money for me, right? It's not just about money. Let me go back to that Shanghai clip that F word posted over here. Let's take a look at this here. I want to point out something right here, very early on in the video. So as we pan across this audience in front of us over here, I want to point out that a lot of guys sitting over here in the audience, when they saw me sitting there, were like, one person asked, James, can I get a photo? And that instantly triggered like 5 people to be like, yeah, can I get a photo too? Can I get a photo as well? And although you can't see him because he's right here, there was a kid that was probably like 8 years old there. And his dad brought him to the event because that literally this day was his birthday. And so his dad brought him to watch the Esports World Cup for his birthday. And let me tell you, during this top 8, the kid was jumping up and down. He was screaming. He kept turning and looking at us and being like, ah, like this. Because I was sitting next to Rod TV. The kid wanted pictures with Rod TV. He wanted pictures with me, etc., etc. And so, like, he was like, this kid was having the time of his life here. And as I've said, as I've gone to Kuwait, as I've gone to Chile, as I've gone to Japan, as I've gone to all these different countries, man, geek culture is just the same everywhere you go. Like, geeks are geeks, man. And so, like, you run into all these people who love the fighting game community. And keep in mind, it's not just Saudi Arabia as well. There was a lot of fans who flew in from Kuwait. There were people who flew in from Egypt. There were people who drove in from other countries, There were people from all over the Middle East coming out here to check this event out. And, having the opportunity to put on an event like this and to give them a good time and to have them experience this and to show up, and to have these people be able to meet, not just us commentators, but the players as well. Like Justin, I mean, God, like the amount of people that were just like, oh my God, Justin, oh my God, Yipes. Can I have a picture with you? Can I have a picture with you? It's just like, it's awesome, dude. Like, the fighting game community everywhere around the world are wonderful people. That's the thing, is they love the fighting games. And, by doing something like this, we give them the ability to enjoy the fighting games. And I think that's really important. I do think that's important. And that's one of the reasons why I do travel to other countries. God, I missed this guy. Hi, Nathan. Oh, I missed my cats. Now, there are definitely downsides, to Saudi Arabia, obviously. One is, especially, that my pet camera app was blocked. I wasn't able to turn on the camera to say hi to my cats and shoot them treats. So I couldn't see my cats all week long. Oh, I missed you guys. Oh, I missed you guys. Fortunately, Olaf was able to send me some pictures, but still, I missed you guys. Oh, no, I know you're trying to run, Nathan. Look at him. He is waiting. He's eyeing the table where he's planning his escape right now. There you go. And so, a lot of it is that too. And then there's players, and I mean, look at the matches we got. We got such great storylines. Xiao Hai was able to have this great moment with his wife and stuff like that. I'm not going to say this like discounts a lot of the things that happen in Saudi Arabia, but like what we can do for the fighting game community there is really important. For me, at least. And also, like I said, Xiao Hai kissing his wife on stage and us going there and, maybe we can bring different ideas there and maybe we can, there is a chance that, who knows, maybe we can try to do something. Like everything starts small, but, you look at a country like China, right? They're so enclosed. They block off everything. They don't let anybody use any of the social media, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how they can stay like a little bit old-fashioned, a little bit outdated and such. But the modern China right now is getting more global. There are stories, like there was a story of like some foreign like investor came out and was like, we're going to make this outdoor cafe. Like we're going to make this restaurant where people can sit outside and eat. And all the Chinese people there were like, that's stupid. We don't do that. Nobody wants to sit outside. That's not what we do. And they're like, well, let's try it. And they tried it and it was a hit. Everybody wanted to go there, and then, China had a big giant Me Too movement out there. My favorite story I like to tell was that the Chinese government actually banned hashtag Me Too out there to prevent people from actually tweeting about it and having a hashtag to search for. So they were trying to censor everybody. And the Chinese youth started using emojis and they put up a bowl of rice and a rabbit. They put up a bowl of rice and a rabbit. Because in Chinese, rice, when it's uncooked, is called mi. And a rabbit in Chinese is called a tu. Tu. So they were literally tweeting me too. And that's how they got around it. And what's happening is that, the globalization of China is really changing the way their youth are thinking there. It's really changing the way that country could be run in the future, honestly. It's silly. It's absolutely silly of me to say that FGC could change the Saudi government. It's a ridiculous statement. But like I said, everything starts small, right? Everything starts small. And that's how it works. So, but yeah, I really did have a good time out there. I really did enjoy it. And I was really glad I was able to meet a lot of the fighting game players out there and also their commentary teams and everything, because all of them are like, oh my God, James, I've been watching you since I was like 8 years old, which makes me feel hella old. But like, still, like, you're just like, you are my inspiration. I do this because of you and all this stuff like that. And it's just like, you realize that the FGC is the FGC no matter where you go. And to me, I think that's so important. I just think that's so important. And, to spread this love and to spread this joy of this hobby everywhere. I love the FGC. So if I can help spread it everywhere and show people, like Rob TV kept joking that little kid we saw was going to be the next Big Bird and Angry Bird, kind of thing. So let's just say that, fighting games are in a good place. I really do think that they're in a good place. There's a lot of things to take away from, EWC and them becoming involved. Like I said, the worries of, them just someday being like, you know what, forget fighting games. And then everything's like, well, now what? We're so used to this production. At the same time, it's great to be able to spread the love of FGC all around the world. You know what I mean? If I was even 20 years ago, right? Even in 2004, if you told me I would end up in Spain and France and Chile and Japan and Kuwait and Saudi Arabia for fighting games because of video games, because of Street Fighter, I would have been like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? But not only that, but I get to travel to these places as a representative. I get to travel to these places as a community leader. I get to go out there and say hello to people and try to bring the joy of fighting games out there and really spread. I mean, a lot of people were like they tweeted, they're like, I met James Chen and wow, he's just as nice in person as he seems on stream, et cetera, et cetera. It's because they haven't seen me lose in fighting games. But it's great. It's great to see that kind of thing, and like I said, the more globalization that you give to a lot of places, I gave the example of China becoming more globalized and allowing their youth to start to break the mold, to start fighting against some of the traditions and stuff. And like I said, I'm not saying that esports is going to do that, let alone the FGC, but anything that opens the world up and starts letting more people in, it's hard not to have that be a catalyst of change. There's a reason why college towns are very left-leaning, is because you start getting people from all the cultures and you start meeting all these people and you start realizing that all these people are human beings. Like I said, geek culture is geek culture, man. When I went to freaking Kuwait, how cosplay is in the United States. Cosplay is like Jessica Negri and stuff like that. So you're like, okay, so cosplay probably not a thing in Kuwait. And then you go to Kuwait and their cosplayers are more dedicated to cosplaying than anything I've ever seen. Even, the cosplayer they flew out there, Super Taunt, aka Tally. She was like, oh my God, these people are amazing. These cosplayers are ridiculous. They're more passionate about cosplay than I feel like we are in the US, and you see these kind of things. You see this geek culture and you see that everybody's the same, man. And it's they're born in different countries. They end up following different rules because that's what your country makes you do. But in the end, they just want to smash some buttons, dude. They just want to play fucking fighting games, dude. Why would I not want to go out to Saudi Arabia to spread the FGC joy to the fans out there, right? That's such a huge factor, honestly. So yeah, dude. Oh, you remember that Arkham the Joker? Yeah. Dude, whenever they do the cosplay contest, they can't walk up to the stage and be like, here's my costume. They actually record long skits of dialogue that they play and they lip sync to those skits and they do these big. So the Joker guy literally started in a chair, walked up and was doing all these things and pointing to people in the audiences and, the ones who do fighting games, they do martial arts sequences, and stuff like that. It's crazy how cosplay is in Kuwait. And yeah, I saw some cosplay in Saudi Arabia too. And a lot of the Saudi Arabian players were like, oh yeah, there's an anime district right around the corner over here. You go over there, people are cosplaying all the time. That's just the thing, right? It's just geeks are geeks, man. People are people. And, they want to have fun. They want to display their passions. And so for me to be able to go to Saudi Arabia and have people be like, oh my God, James Chen, oh my God, Justin Wong, or just like, oh, this is so crazy. Like I was just walking up to find a seat and like a bunch of people in the audience would see me and they'd be like, oh my God, like that kind of thing. And it's like, it's like, I want to spread that love. I just want to spread that love, that kind of, that's really what it comes down to, man. So, I feel like I have a responsibility to spread the love of the FGC. I really do. I had a great time. Dude, they took care of us, man. Let me tell you something, man. The hotel that we stayed at, like, was super nice. And they made sure that we would have free lunch, dinner, and breakfast every day. We just walked in the hotel, signed our name on a sheet, and went and ate. And it was buffet style. And let me tell you, man, all of us got fat, dude. I gained so much weight when I was there that by the time it got to finals day, some of the shirts that I brought that sort of fit me, like just didn't fit me anymore. Oh my God, it was so bad. Oh man. So like, but I mean, they took care of us. It was great. And like I said, just all the other, the production crew, like the Middle Eastern commentators and stuff. Like I said, some of them were from Kuwait. Some of them were from, some of them were people that I met in Kuwait at Kuwait Battle Royale. And this is the first time I've seen them in a long time. And, that kind of stuff is cool. And, like one of my favorite moments from that entire weekend is I was walking and Latif drove 4 hours, who lives in Saudi Arabia, drove 4 hours to come and hang out. I think that's what it was 4 hours. And he was walking with Ryan Hart and Yipes, and I just saw Latif and I was like, bro. And he was like, bro. And we gave each other the biggest hugs. I tell you right now, man, like, I know this is what I mean by I make myself easy to hate, but I tell you what, man, like I gave him a hug and it was just like, sometimes you just have that hug where it's just like, hugs are like the greatest thing in the world, dude. Like seriously, like the hug that Latif and I gave each other, like I was just like, I am so happy to see you here in your home country. And he was like, you are my brother. I will tell you this. If you need anything here in Saudi Arabia, you hit me up. I will do anything for you, and like, if it wasn't for fighting games, I wouldn't have this kind of brotherhood with someone who lives like halfway around the world and shit like that. You know what I mean? And it's just like that kind of stuff is like, that's to me, that human connection is just, it's so wonderful. It's wonderful. And like literally after giving Latif that hug and him telling me that, like I almost cried because I was just like, you know what? Like this is awesome that fighting games has afforded me friendships with people that I would have never met had it not been for this kind of thing. And not only that, but to meet him in his home country. You know what I mean? Okay, he lived in Arizona for a really long time. Okay, right. But, Saudi Arabia is his home country. So, like to be able to meet him in that kind of, to know that I could go on vacation anywhere around the world and somebody there would be like, yo, James, you need anything, I got you. Like is amazing. Like that's just like, what a fucking awesome hobby that we have, dude. Like seriously, how great is that? Seriously. It's crazy, dude. So yeah. So, for me, it's about the FGC, man. It's about that. And I'm happy I was able to bring that to Saudi Arabia. So